Well, hello, coming to you from the kitchen. I have the phone sitting up really high, so you think I have 10-foot ceilings, but I don't. They're only 6.5 feet tall. What I want to go over today is not just what our kitchen looks like, because you've seen it before, but some of the things we did that we found really useful for us. You know, when you live in a really small place, you hear a lot of different things, utilize every corner, hang things on the walls, but one thing people don't often tell you is what you need to do for you. What works for you? Do you have the need for a full-size refrigerator? Do you want a full-size oven? Would you be fine with not? You know, I often see these tiny houses with just an induction burner, and I think to myself, well, how do they bake? Well, maybe they don't need to. Maybe that's not something they do all the time. So in a small space, don't always think about it as I've got to do this and I've got to do that because everyone else does. What do you do? So think about your day-to-day. Do you ever bake anything? Do you like washing dishes by hand? Do you use your dishwasher more than you use your front door? I do. So these are all the things you have to think about. You know, do you want a washer and dryer? If you live in a really small place, do you have room for that? Some of us do, some of us don't. And we've spent several years figuring out where ours should go. We had them in the shed. I had them in my bedroom with a really small like RV set. Then we had a full-size set over here, side by side, and now we have a stackable set. So, in the next part of this clip, because my phone is cheap and it won't flip the camera around like I want it to, if I'm already recording, I'm going to show you some of the things that we did that we found very useful, and hopefully you can use them too in your kitchen. But just remember, whatever you use on a daily basis, that's what you need room for. Let me show you. Awkward pause up to the camera. So if you're seeing this attached to the video you just watched, that means I was successful in merging videos. If you're seeing this labeled as part 2, that means I was pretty lazy and didn't feel like trying to merge the video. So either way, this spot here is where a full-size oven is supposed to go. You can see the vent above there in the middle, that big white thing. That's a vent straight out of the wall. That's the second one we've had in 7 years. So it lasts a while, but we really utilize it a lot. Especially in the winter months. We did have a full-size oven when we moved in. It went out. We spent a good bit of money on that oven. So we decided we're not doing that again. It was gas. So for a while we actually had a deep freezer sitting there. Now we have our dishwasher because the dishwasher is really important to us because we don't like washing dishes. So we have an induction burner here, which is fantastic and really great. Cooks, boils things much faster than I've even seen a regular electric stove do. Over here, this is our little oven, and when our big oven went out, we bought this one. This will hold a whole cake pan. This is also a rotisserie. It will bake anything you want, make pizzas, in its regular cooking times and everything else. It's a Hamilton Beach, I believe. Yes, sorry, I haven't noticed that in years. It's a Hamilton Beach. It's fantastic. It's about $60. And then this little guy, got him at IKEA, and it's great. So we also have our toaster, our can opener there, and our pot lids. Of course, we have everything hanging on the wall we can because every inch does matter in a tiny space. Above here, we have our spice rack. That was custom made. We made that almost 7 years ago. Then above it, we keep some of our bigger spices and stuff you kind of need, measuring cups and things like that. So it works out really well. On the side, we have our cast iron skillet, our baby cast iron skillet, some cups we have to use for certain medicine that you have to mix in a cup that's really nasty, and it stains everything, so we use those little mini cups. Pot holders. We'll swing around, nothing crazy here, just our cabinets up here, and I'm not going to really show those because I've shown them so many times, but the doors do swing open. One swings up, one swings down. I will show this. The cool thing about having a cabinet that swings down is when you're digging for stuff and you need to set stuff places, the cabinets are great on that. You can dig back in there and not even have to set stuff down. Those cabinet dividers are necessary. On this side, we have a few little canisters. Now note, y'all, we've had this up here for about maybe 2 years. This is just vinyl plank flooring. It's held up fantastically. Is that a word, fantastically? It's held up really fantastic. Over here we have our Montgomery Ward mixer, so that tells you how old that is. and it's on a little lazy Susan for no reason at all. Up here we have our pots that we use for the induction. We had a really nice set, but induction requires certain types of pot, and if you have stainless steel or like ceramic coated or whatnot, not all of them will work. Not stainless steel, but aluminum. Not all pots will work on induction. Our little window unit, which is kind of ugly, but it works. On top of the fridge, we still have some stuff to do. Now in here, I showed you guys this last night. This is just our little pantry. Nothing too spectacular. But this is where our washer and dryer are. In here. And we also keep cooking utensils that we use frequently, but not as frequently as we use some of these ones sitting over there. So these are where all our cooking utensils that we don't use all the time go. Washer and dryer. And we also did not finish this wall out and put 2x4s here, and we use it for food storage, which is great. And if you can see up in there, see that little disc glowing kind of at the top of your screenish? That is actually a vent that has been in the house originally, because this is where the fridge used to sit. So anyway, as I was saying, just find space that works for you. If you're running where our plates and stuff are, microwave, coffee pot. This is actually the entryway into our house. That's our vacuum cleaner here. This is actually the entryway into our house, and it just became kitchen 2.0. This used to go straight into the living room. There was no wall here at all, but we've changed that, and because in a really small place sometimes walls are your best friend, because now we can put this big dresser here, which we use for kitchen storage, and the TV and stuff's hanging on the other side of that. But our kitchen is only 9.5 feet wide, and maybe, if you include this entryway, about 12 feet across, 12 feet deep. So it's a relatively small kitchen. Anyway, find what you need in your kitchen and make it suit you. Don't do things because everybody else is. And we're here to help or answer any questions you may have.